This is purely from a personal level, from Conrad's point of view. If you have any opinion, you can share it in the comments underneath in our YouTube channel, and we shall converse about it. But what is the major difference between a road bike and a mountain bike? Now, this here is a mountain bike. You see the handlebar is straight and the tires are a little bit fatter. That means that it can be able to do roads, off-roads and roads that are potholed or rough surfaces. It can be able to do that very, very well. The road bike tires are very, very thin, like a third of the mountain bikes, and the handlebar is curvy and it has foam. Basically, road bikes are used for road and potholed roads, especially commuter, than this bike. So let's compare a number of things. Comfort. For me, in my weight, I feel that mountain bike is more comfortable than the road bike. And it's comfort in terms of the way you sit on it and you ride. This feels more comfortable, and basically you can allude that to the front shock, that the fork is a shock absorber, and also the tires the width is bigger, so you don't have to you glide over most of these things and potholes, and you're able to roll over them. And this one is a little bit rigid, and for me that makes it very uncomfortable, because the tire is so small, so I can feel the road. I can feel everything on the road. So if the tarmac is not smooth, this becomes very uncomfortable. But again, another thing that I've realized is the handlebar. This bike is very comfortable. It's handlebars because it has like 4 or 5 positions for holding. You can hold here, you can hold here, you can hold here, you can hold from here and from here. How many are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For long rides, that's very, very comfortable, because from the handle itself, you are able to relax your arms when you change different positions. For instance, if you are climbing, you don't have to hold from here. You can hold from here. When I come to my mountain bike, I only have 1 and 2, and I survive with them. So you realize that you really get tired in your hands, and sometimes you get blisters, because it's 180 kilometers. That's like 8 to 9 hours on the bike. So of course you want something that's very comfortable. So when it comes to handle positions, for me, the road bike really scores. And I think that was the primary reason why I really, really wanted to have a road bike. Because in my long distances, I can be able to enjoy and feel comfortable. But when I got it, I realized that because of the size of the tires, it's too rigid. It's quite uncomfortable. You can feel the tarmac. It's like you are riding on tarmac, and you can feel it. But this one, because of the wheelbase, and of course because of the front shock, it's quite comfortable on rides other than the handlebar. On speed, hey, that's why it's called a road bike. This bike is super fast. And of course you can see how it looks. You are able to become aerodynamic, and this bike can move very, very fast. Compared to this is of course it's sluggish. It's broader wheelbase, sluggishness, thin, cuts the wind very fast. So it's faster, and you'd realize also the length of the handle. This one is shorter compared to this. It's like half of this. So this bike is very, very fast. And also it's aided by the gear ratios, because if you look at the gear ratios, you can see how the chain plate is big. It's so big, it's like a 52. The biggest for this is like 38. So you can imagine. So one rotation like this is like double. But now, come to climbs. You know, when you're climbing, if you're not fit, you'll suffer. So for me, again, this did not work well with me because, again, of the gear ratios. I needed a compact one, but this one was for the pros. So this bike did not work well for me. Of course, this one works very well for me because I am an endurance cyclist. I'm a lifestyle cyclist. So with the gear ratios of 38 and 42, I am able to climb. And let's look at cost. And this I'm taking top of the range, whichever you take. Mountain bikes are more costly than road bikes because they have 2 or 3 things that are extra in that a road bike does not have. For instance, this fork. This is a shock absorber like the one in your car. And this shock is like between $500 to $1,000 for this shock only. If you look at the road bike, it does not have a shock. It has a fork, but it's no shock, it's rigid. One difference in price is the shock. So because of that, it makes it expensive by maybe $500 depending on what it is. Any extra component, extra price. So if you take top of the range, middle, entry level, provided it has those things, it becomes more costly than the road bike. But again, there are different brands. There are those that are very high up and they are entry level. But again, for me, road bike didn't work. Maybe when I lose more weight and I'm able to compete with you guys who ride very fast, then I will be able to come back to it. For now, for me, comfort matters a lot, especially the comfort of the wheels that comes from the wheels and the shocks. Number two is the climbing power and the gear ratios. I am a slow climber. I am an endurance cyclist. So for me, I would love to climb. I don't want to drop or move very fast in flats. My priority is climbing. So because of climbing, the gear ratios that befit me are from the mountain bike. And then number three, braking power. This one has disc brakes and I love the way it responds very fast when I just use my index fingers. This one I have to think of how to apply here. So for me, those are the three factors that took me back to mountain biking. And this is what I will use for my epic rides, my expeditions. So depending on your pocket, depending on your choice and preference, depending on your size, depending on what you want to do, the choice is yours. Endless possibilities. Keep subscribing to Conrad Cycles, and until next time, have a pleasant day ahead.